Jamie, it seems to me that most of us, if we were put in Daniel's position, would have just said, you know what, I just won't pray for 30 days. It'll be okay. God will understand. What words of encouragement or challenge do you have for those of us who might feel like that in today's world?
Well, here's my encouragement: don't do that. I mean, why would you? No, sure, that would be a temptation. In fact, as I knew that question was coming, I thought, that maybe even we'd be even more slick than saying we wouldn't pray for 30 days. We would, unlike Daniel, we'd pray quietly and in our prayer closet, and we might just not even let anybody know that we are praying, and that we'd sort of get off the hook that way. Here's the problem with that: is that though God doesn't say for us to be obnoxious in our faith or what have you, we do need to be both public as well as overt about our faith, and not to be shy when it comes to talking to Him, praying to Him, reading His Word. So much of God's activity happens when people have been just very free with their faith. I mean, the Ethiopian eunuch is reading the scriptures along a river, and Philip comes along and leads him to Christ. And, Daniel's praying up there visibly, as David prayed visibly, and Paul the Apostle prayed visibly. And though there might be repercussions for those things, in those repercussions are also the movement and deliverance of God, as we talked about today. So here's the point, is that if you shy away from those types of things, if you try to sort of provide your own deliverance at times, and by compromising your faith, or at least the expression of your faith, then you rob God of the ability, I think, to deliver you at times. And that's a biblical truism, that there are times where His deliverance is, I wouldn't say dependent, but it surely is tied to our faithfulness. Again, it's not a one-to-one correlation, as some people try to make it, that if you're not faithful, He won't deliver, because there's plenty of times, and even the scriptures say that even when we are faithless, He remains faithful. But it is also true that the quantity and even the quality of His deliverance many, many times is tied to our faithfulness and willingness to stand for Him in the gap. So my point is that if you were to be tempted to shrink back, as Hebrews 10 and 11 talks about, Hebrews 10, if we shrink back, then you're going to be one who experiences the negative consequences of that. But if you stand in the gap for God, you're placing yourself in a position to experience His deliverance. And folks, I can't tell you how many times I've experienced that, where it'll be next year, it'll be 30 years since I accepted Christ. And over the last 30 years, I've experienced His movement and activities, again, many times when I'm standing in the gap, trusting Him in such profound ways. And that's what the journey of Scottsdale Bible has been as well. So as I'll continue to stand in the gap, trusting Him, as Daniel and those who went before us have.
Thank you, Jamie.